way to start off is for the bio part. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your band, how long you've been doing it, and just a little bit in general about the band.
It's kind of hard to keep it short sometimes because we've been around for forever. But we kicked off in the early '80s, about 82, I think. We actually formed up and got serious. We were playing around in sort of 83, 84, 85, 86. So in those sort of the good old days of the Metal for Melbourne and stuff. We headlined Metal for Melbourne 85 or 86. I can't remember which one it was now, about 1,200 people at the Story Hall at RMIT up at the top end of Swanston Street. So they were pretty good days. It's not often you get to play in front of 1,200 local fans.
Yeah.
We continued on into the sort of the early 90s, and then we sort of went on an extended break, which kind of extended a lot further than we probably thought it was going to. It ended up going on for about 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
And then back playing probably about six or 7 years ago now. No, nearly 8 years ago now. So we've just been writing, came back, started playing some gigs, and then decided we didn't want to just keep playing the old stuff, which, was fine, but it's always good to be doing something different. So we've been writing and trying to get that all ready, and which leads us right up to Rue Morgue, where we're ready to put out some vinyl.
So what sparked you guys wanting to get back together? Was it something that you talked about for a long time, or was it something that you just saw as a one-off, but then, like you said, you wanted to do more?
Look, strangely enough, as silly as it might sound, it probably, the real catalyst probably ended up being MySpace. I was doing a number of things, some sort of other projects and stuff. Most of the band members doing various things with other bands over the years and playing around and stuff. And I started getting approached by a few people on MySpace asking questions, where we were at, what had happened, maybe trying to find out. And some of them were actually reasonably young people, 18, 19-year-olds. And it sort of caught me a bit by surprise that these people were actually referring back to music that had probably been written before they were even born.
Yeah.
But they were chasing it up and they were querying it, and I suppose out of that it just got us talking again about there wasn't huge demand. It's not like we're being hit by hundreds and hundreds of requests, but it just sort of made us think that we're not entirely irrelevant. I suppose from that we started talking, decided to give it a go. We had the opportunity to play with Paul Di'Anno when he came through in 2013, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we got the opportunity to support that, and we jumped at that. It was great because I was on Iron Maiden from day one, so the first couple of Di'Anno albums are always on top of my playlist, so it was a great opportunity to play with him, even though his star has dimmed a little bit since those days.
Yeah. You guys have lasted a lot longer than MySpace, I have to say. So, well, if someone had said to you back in the early 80s when you first got together that you guys would still be making music in 2020, what would you have said to them?
I don't know. We probably didn't think that we wouldn't have spent 5 minutes thinking that far ahead back then. I don't think. It was. It's one of the funny things that you look back now, and that period of probably 83 to 86 or 87. It's literally 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it feels like it was an entire lifetime. We did so much was crammed into those years. I mean, it was just. It's probably before the rise of pokies in all the venues and stuff, and a lot of other changes that have happened. It was a time when there was just a lot happening locally. You could easily play 2 and 3 times a week if you wanted to.
Yep.
And there were times when we did do that. We would have two or three gigs in a single week around Melbourne, different places, down at Frankston, all the way down at the Pier Hotel, and then the next week be up in Brunswick or somewhere, and out to the west or out to the east into the Ferntree Gully and stuff. You just, you could play all the time.
Yeah.
And if you weren't playing, you would go and watch other bands play. We had a lot of community. come and see each other, and you'd hang out and whatever. And then, when gigs were over, everybody would roll back to somebody's house for a party or something. So much happening back then. Everyone was writing and recording and doing stuff, and there were bands playing and new bands popping up all the time. I don't think we had time to think about what would 2020 look like.
Yeah.
But I'm aware of the fact now that we've got such a long history that now you look back, we probably wasted some of the things we had there back then.
Yeah.
We probably could have been a little smarter in hindsight, but hey, we were having a good time.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit about how this relationship has come about with Rue Morgue Records.
Well, I've known John off and on. We're not best friends, but no, I've known him for a long time, and just massive amount of respect for everything that John's always done for every part of the music industry that he touches. The guy's just he's really focused. He's really committed. He takes a lot of pride and puts a lot of emphasis on quality and doing a good job. His photography work in the last decade or so is outstanding. So when Rue Morgue Records sort of kicked off and they started looking to release original material under their own banner, it just coincided with exactly where we were at. That we just we came off the Metal for Melbourne. What was it? Not reunion. I can't think of the word. The celebration, I guess. The gig in 2017, we had about 600 or 700 people at the Corner Hotel. And straight after that, we thought that we need to follow up on this by putting out something new. So we started immediately writing a new set of songs.
Yep.
We'd already done some writing, but we thought we wanted to write some more. So we ended up with about 6 or 8 new tracks, started recording them and all that. And then we just started around thinking we need to do something with this. And vinyl was making a comeback. Rue Morgue were coming around. So I reached out to John, and he was only too happy to give us an opportunity to talk to him. So, yeah. I guess it's just, who you know.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. How do you feel about vinyl coming back, and why is it important to you as an artist for your material to be available on vinyl?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. I mean, part of what I did 10, 12 years ago, I actually had a small digital distribution label that I was running, trying to work with a lot of basically unsigned bands from all around the world that basically might have had like say Tunisia, band in Ukraine, another band in South America, bands that perhaps didn't quite know exactly how to reach out into the more mainstream system. So I was trying to be a little bit of a bridge just to try and help people get a foothold. There was nothing big, nothing elaborate, but my experience with that just really underlined that as it all sort of changed and Spotify, the rise of Spotify and stuff, that digital it's a necessary evil. My own kids only ever really listen to digital music. They don't buy CDs or vinyl. So you've got to be in the digital world, I suppose. But at the same time, it's a very I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. People don't commit to it very much. It's very transitory. You can drift in and drift out of something. It's not as solid as actually buying something that you hold in your hands.
Yeah.
So for us, and from my experience with that, I noticed that it was kind of difficult for bands to really gain much traction.
Yeah.
Through digital. You get people who will stream you, but they can just as quickly stop streaming you.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just old-fashioned, or maybe it's part of that, but I just feel like something like CDs, or even more importantly vinyl, it's really a commitment. Someone who buys a vinyl nowadays is making a statement about caring enough about the music.
Definitely.
Rather than just being vaguely curious.
Yeah. So
it worked.
Tell us a little bit about the track that you've got on the Rue Morgue compilation, and why did you guys go with that track on the compilation?
The song's called Final Crime. Strangely enough, this is not one of the newer songs we've written. In the original lineup of the band, in the late 80s, we were finishing off album number 2, for various reasons. Some of it related to industry reasons, and some of it related to personnel. We never finished the second album, so the album was recorded but never mixed and never mastered, never released. But then, of course, there was different members then, different guitarists and stuff. So a couple of the songs from that album have always been amongst my favourite songs that we ever wrote. So we were keen to sort of not see them completely wither and die. And Final Crime is one of those tracks. So we've sort of dusted it off, got the new band together with we've sort of got one new guitarist and one old guitarist. George has been with us off and on for 30 odd years. He was with Taramis for a long time in the 80s as well, another old Melbourne band. But George has sort of drifted in and out in amongst doing things with other projects and wherever he's been.
Yeah.
So he's back on board again. So we've recorded it all fresh. So it's a brand new recording, but it's actually a song that dates back. And we wanted to release it because A, I think it's a quality track, and B, it kind of also acts in our own minds as being like a closing of a chapter. So we can look forward to. We're also looking at doing a single with Rue Morgue, and that's going to be new tracks. Freshly written. So Final Crime sort of seemed like a nice bridge between the past and the present.
Awesome.
So that's kind of the story.
Yeah, awesome. Cannot wait to hear the new tracks as well. I guess another question leading on from that is, how important are compilations like this to the local music scene?
Well, that's the thing I really admire about what Rue Morgue are doing. I mean, I think this used to be, pre the internet, pre the ability to just, fire up a digital thing and stream whatever you felt like. Or compilations were a main source of how people got exposed to things. And, the world is different. It's never going to be exactly like that again. But I think it does, and especially the way John is pulling it together, it really will act as a good showcase for a variety of different things. So you might have come looking for one particular band, but you'll end up finding two or three others that really stand out for you. So I think it serves a really valuable bridge, and I think it's really good to see that somebody's trying to bring this back again and sort of kick some more life back into the idea of compilations. I really like it.
Yeah, me too, definitely. I remember how many bands I discovered by buying Metal Hammer magazine and getting the compilation off the front of it. I discovered so many bands now that are in my collection from those compilations. I guess to finish off, is there anything you'd like to say to the punters out there before they go out and grab a copy of the compilation?
Well, I'd tell them they should definitely go out and buy a copy. Not just for Nothing Sacred, for our sake, but to support both Rue Morgue and the general idea of, sort of encouraging. I think the other thing too about vinyl, although I don't think many bands don't take recording seriously, but when you've got to commit to vinyl and just the lead up, the whole having to do the master vinyl cut and everything, it really focuses you to make sure you're delivering something that's quality. You can't easily change your mind about this sort of thing. So I think it helps bands focus and pushes the quality envelope a little bit. So yeah, I encourage everybody to support this idea. I mean, I think John's plan to release an annual compilation, it's a brilliant idea. And this time has probably come again. I think that all old things become new again, and I think this is a perfect time to be embracing this. So hopefully people will enjoy what they hear. I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing. I've heard some of the other tracks that are going to be on it, but I'm looking forward to hearing the whole thing. And hopefully other people will too.
Definitely. Well, Karl, thank you so much for chatting to us today, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. And, if there's anything that we can do to help support Nothing Sacred in the future, just let me know.
No worries, David. I'll have to catch up with you at some point.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah. I'm going to be away for a little bit over the next couple of weeks, but yeah, it'd be great to catch up when we get back.
No, you're not doing virus travelling, are you?